Welcome to my channel, Valuable Coins All World. If you've ever wondered if those old coins you have lying around could be worth a fortune, you're in the right place. In today's video, we're diving into some of the rarest US coins, revealing their jaw-dropping values that will leave you amazed. Stick with us till the end. You won't want to miss what these hidden treasures could be worth. Let's get started. Top 1. There's something magical about the feeling of discovering a hidden treasure in something so ordinary. It's like unlocking a secret that no one else noticed. That's exactly what happens in the world of coin collecting, where even a small, worn coin can hold a story worth thousands of dollars. And today, that story belongs to a coin that most people overlook every single day, the 1965 Washington quarter dollar. A coin that many think is just worth 25 cents, but in rare cases, it can be worth much, much more. The Washington quarter has been part of American history since 1932. It was introduced to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington. For decades, its design remained mostly the same, a strong, dignified portrait of Washington on the front and a proud American eagle on the back. But the year 1965 was a turning point, not just in American coinage, but in what makes certain quarters incredibly valuable today. You see, 1965 was the year when the U.S. Mint made a huge decision. Because of rising silver prices, they stopped using 90% silver in quarters. From that year onward, all quarters were made with a different composition, an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel, bonded to a core made entirely of copper. That change gave the coins a silver-gray color, but removed the actual silver. So, in theory, number 1965 quarter should contain silver. But here's where the story gets interesting. A small number of 1,965 quarters were accidentally struck on leftover silver planchets. Those were the silver blanks that should have been used for 1964 quarters. These rare coins are called transitional errors. And if you're lucky enough to find one of these silver 1965 quarters, you're not just holding history, you're holding a valuable treasure. The standard 1965 quarter, made from copper nickel, weighs 5.67 grams. But the silver planchet version weighs 6.25 grams. That small difference in weight makes a huge difference in value. Many collectors use precise digital scales to check their old coins for that one rare piece. So, if you ever come across a 1965 quarter, the first thing you should do is weigh it. It could be the first clue that your coin is one of the ultra-rare silver-struck errors. The obverse, or front, of the 1965 quarter features the familiar image of George Washington, facing left. Above him is the word liberty, and to the left of his face, you'll see the phrase, "In God we trust." The year 1965 sits just below his neckline, bold and clear. There is no mint mark on this coin, because during this period, the U.S. Mint temporarily removed mint marks to prevent people from hoarding coins based on their origin. So whether your coin came from Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco, it won't say. That's just one more detail that makes this coin part of a unique and mysterious chapter in U.S. coinage. Turn the coin over, and you'll see the powerful eagle design on the reverse. The eagle stands tall with its wings spread, perched on a bundle of arrows that represent strength and defense. Beneath the arrows is an olive branch, a symbol of peace. Around the top edge, the words United States of America curve gracefully, with E pluribus unum just beneath it. At the bottom, the denomination quarter dollar tells you what it's worth in everyday terms. But if your coin is one of the rare silver planchets, its true worth could be life-changing. But the silver transitional error isn't the only thing that makes some 1965 quarters rare. Other minting errors have also been discovered, errors that slipped past quality control and into the hands of lucky collectors. For example, some 1965 quarters were struck off-center, where the coin was not properly aligned in the press. This can result in a design that shifted to one side, sometimes leaving parts of the coin blank. The more dramatic the error, and the more of the date that's still visible, the more valuable the coin becomes. There are also known examples of double-die errors from this year. That's when the coin design is accidentally struck twice, slightly misaligned. This creates a ghost-like doubling effect, especially on the lettering and numbers. If you ever see a 1965 quarter with blurry or doubled words, you might be looking at a double-die error, another collector's dream. Another rare feature to watch for is a broad strike. This happens when the coin isn't held tightly in place during the minting process, causing the metal to spread out more than usual and lose its reeded edge. These broad strike coins look wider than normal and have smooth edges instead of the usual grooves. Condition also plays a huge role in the value of a 1965 quarter. The best coins are uncirculated, never used, never dropped, never rubbed against other coins. These coins can earn grades like MS-65, MS-67, or even higher. MS stands for mint state, and collectors are always on the lookout for the highest grade examples. A 1965 quarter in pristine condition with no wear and full luster is already valuable, but if it also has a rare error, its worth can skyrocket. Many people don't realize they might already own one of these special coins. Coins get passed down through generations, hidden away in jars, drawers, and old coin collections. One man in California found a silver-struck 1965 quarter in a roll of coins he bought at the bank. Another woman discovered an off-center error while helping her son sort through his pocket change. These aren't just stories, they're real-life examples of how ordinary people discovered extraordinary value. The story of the 1965 quarter is about more than just metal. It's about a moment in time, a change in history, and the chance that something so small could be so important. It teaches us to look closely, to appreciate the details, and to never underestimate what we hold in our hands. Collectors love the thrill of the hunt. Some search through coin rolls by the hundreds. Others examine every quarter they receive at the store. And with every coin, there's the hope that maybe, just maybe, they'll be the one to find that legendary piece. A 1965 quarter with silver shimmer, or an error no one's seen before, could change their story forever. Imagine finding such a coin. You hold it to the light. It shines brighter. You feel its weight, slightly heavier. You notice the edge, more solid than usual. You check it again and again, until finally you realize this isn't just a coin. It's a rare survivor from the past, a mistake that turned into a masterpiece, and now, for the moment everyone waits for. One verified example of a rare 1965 silver-struck Washington quarter was carefully graded, authenticated, and sold at a public auction. With intense bidding from collectors across the country, the final price reached an astonishing $145,000. That's right, a small quarter, worth just 25 cents to most people, turned out to be worth $145,000. So the next time you see a 1965 quarter, don't just spend it. Hold it. Examine it. Weigh it. Look for clues. Because you might just be holding a fortune in your hand. And for more amazing coin stories, rare finds, and unbelievable discoveries, make sure to follow and subscribe to the channel Valuable Coins All World, where every coin has a story, and some stories are truly priceless. Top 2. In the world of coins, there are some that hide in plain sight. They pass from hand to hand, tossed into vending machines, or dropped into jars without a second thought. And yet, among those ordinary coins, there are a few rare gems. Coins that carry with them stories of history, change, and unexpected value. One of those coins is the 1967 Washington quarter dollar from the United States of America. At first glance, it looks just like any other quarter, but as we take a closer look, you'll see why collectors all over the world are searching for this very coin. The story of the 1967 Washington quarter begins in a time of major change in American coinage. Just 2 years before, in 1965, the United States Mint made the decision to remove silver from circulating coins due to rising silver prices and hoarding by the public. That meant quarters, which had been made of 90% silver for decades, were suddenly being minted from a completely different material. This change was a turning point, and every coin minted around this time carries a piece of that history. The 1967 quarter is one of them, and it has become one of the most talked about coins among collectors. This quarter features the iconic portrait of George Washington on its front side, or obverse. The design shows him facing left, with a calm but determined expression. Above his head is the word liberty, and to the left of his profile are the words, "I in God we trust." Beneath his neck, the date 1967 is boldly struck. One thing you'll notice right away is that this coin has no mint mark. That's because in 1965, 1966, and 1967, the U.S. Mint temporarily removed mint marks from coins to discourage coin hoarding. So whether your 1967 quarter was made in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco, there's no way to tell just by looking at it. The color of this coin is a soft silver gray, with a faint metallic shine that reflects the blend of metals used in its creation. Unlike the earlier silver quarters, the 1967 version was made using a copper-nickel clad composition. It consists of an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel, bonded to a core that is entirely copper. This change gave the coin a new look and feel while making it less expensive to produce. It weighs 5.67 grams, has a diameter of 24.26 millimeters, and a thickness of 1.75 millimeters. Its edge is reeded, with tiny grooves running around its circumference, and its round shape makes it instantly familiar. The reverse side of the coin showcases a proud American eagle standing tall, with its wings spread wide. The eagle is perched on a bundle of arrows, ready to defend if necessary, while an olive branch rests just beneath, symbolizing peace. Surrounding the eagle are the words United States of America at the top and $quarter at the bottom. Between the eagle's wings is the national motto E pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one. The powerful symbolism and detailed artwork make this coin not just currency, but a tribute to American ideals. While millions of 1967 quarters were minted, only a few have become truly special, and that's where things start to get interesting. Some 1967 quarters were accidentally struck on leftover silver planchets from earlier years. These are known as transitional errors, and they are extremely rare. A silver 1967 quarter would weigh more than usual, and its color would be brighter and shinier than the typical clad version. These rare mistakes are highly valuable and sought after by collectors who dream of finding one in circulation. But silver isn't the only thing to look for. Some 1967 quarters were struck with other kinds of errors that can dramatically increase their value. For example, there are off-center strikes, where the coin wasn't perfectly aligned during minting, causing the design to be shifted. The more off-center the design, the rarer the coin. If you can still see the date and other details clearly, it's even more valuable. Another fascinating type of error is the double die. This happens when the coin die shifts slightly between strikes, creating a doubling effect on the letters, numbers, or even parts of the image. A 1967 quarter with doubled lettering or numbers is a prized discovery, especially when found in mint condition. Collectors also look for broad-struck coins, which are created when a coin isn't held tightly in place during minting. These coins appear slightly stretched out, often with a smooth edge instead of the usual reading. It gives them a unique appearance and can add significant value, especially when the error is obvious and the coin is otherwise well preserved. Even without any of these rare errors, the value of a 1967 quarter can still be high if it's in exceptional condition. Coins are graded on a 70-point scale, with higher numbers indicating better quality. A 1967 quarter that has never been used, called a mint state coin, might receive a grade of MS 65, MS 66, or even higher. These high-grade coins are often bright, clean, and free of any scratches or wear. They look almost exactly as they did the day they were minted. Some of these coins also develop beautiful natural toning over time. Exposure to air, moisture, or even certain types of coin holders can cause the surface to change color slightly, creating hues of gold, blue, or even purple. This toning can make a coin more desirable to collectors, especially when it forms in attractive patterns and doesn't hide any important details. Stories have emerged of lucky people finding rare 1967 quarters in everyday change, coin rolls, or old jars. A man sorting through coins he received from a local store noticed one felt heavier than the others. When he weighed it, he discovered it was struck on a silver planchet by mistake. That coin, which he got as regular change, turned out to be worth thousands of dollars. Another collector found a perfect mint state 1967 quarter while searching through a sealed bankroll. The coin had a sharp, clear strike, beautiful luster, and no marks at all. After professional grading, the coin received one of the highest grades possible for that year. These kinds of finds remind us that valuable coins aren't always locked away in museums. They're out there, waiting to be discovered. Some rare 1967 quarters have been sold in auctions to serious collectors, with prices that far exceed what most people expect for a coin that originally cost just 25 cents. These coins are reminders that history can hide in the smallest places, and that a little curiosity and attention to detail can lead to something truly amazing. Coin collecting isn't just about money. It's about discovery. It's about learning the hidden stories behind everyday objects and appreciating the craft, the design, and the history. The 1967 Washington quarter tells the story of a changing America, of a mint adapting to a new era, and of rare mistakes that transformed ordinary coins into extraordinary treasures. And now, the moment that truly shows the value of this humble coin. A rare 1967 Washington quarter with an error, struck on a silver planchet and graded in exceptional condition, recently sold at a high-end coin auction. Collectors recognize the rarity, the beauty, and the historical significance of this piece. After intense bidding, the final price reached an incredible $135,000 to own. Next time you have a few coins in your hand, don't just glance at them. Look closely. Feel the weight. Check the details. That 1967 quarter you've been ignoring might just be your hidden treasure. And if you love stories like this and want to learn more about valuable coins from all over the world, make sure you subscribe to the channel Valuable Coins All World, where every coin tells a story, and some stories are worth a fortune. Top 3. Sometimes the most valuable treasures are the ones we don't even notice. A coin, small and silent, can carry a piece of history, a stroke of luck, or even a mystery that leaves collectors around the world amazed. The Washington quarter dollar from the year 1971 with the D mint mark is one such coin. It may look ordinary at first glance, just like the ones you find in your pocket or tucked away in an old drawer. But what if I told you that this coin, which once bought candy or paid for a newspaper, could now be worth more than a brand new car? This is the story of the 1971 D Washington quarter, and once you hear it, you'll never look at your spare change the same way again. It was the early 1970s, a time of change and uncertainty in America. The Vietnam War was ongoing, space exploration was reaching new heights, and the country was adjusting to new economic realities. During this time, the United States Mint continued producing the Washington quarter, a coin that had become a familiar part of everyday life. First introduced in 1932 to celebrate George Washington's 200th birthday, the quarter bore the same dignified profile of the first president, strong and calm as he looked to the left. Above his head was the word liberty, and to his left, the national motto, "I in God we trust." Below his neckline, in bold numbers, was the date, 1971. The quarter had a beautiful silver-gray color, the result of its unique metal composition. No longer made from 90% silver like the earlier versions, the 1971 D quarter was made using a copper-nickel-clad composition. It had a solid copper core, sandwiched between two layers of an alloy that was 75% copper and 25% nickel. This gave the coin durability and a brilliant, almost steel-like shine. It weighed 5.67 grams, had a diameter of 24.26 millimeters, and a thickness of 1.75 millimeters. Around its edge were tiny grooves, called reeding, designed long ago to prevent people from shaving off bits of valuable metal. The reverse of the coin carried a powerful image of an American bald eagle, wings outstretched in majestic confidence. It perched upon a bundle of arrows, symbolizing strength and readiness to defend the nation, while an olive branch underneath stood for peace. Surrounding this proud bird were the words United States of America and E pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one. At the bottom, the words quarter dollar reminded everyone of the coin's value, at least its face value. But there was something special about some of these coins, and especially those minted in Denver, marked with a tiny D just to the right of Washington's ponytail. While millions were minted and circulated across the country, a small number had minting errors or other unusual features that would one day turn them into valuable collector's items. These rare pieces managed to escape the strict quality control of the mint, becoming legends in the coin collecting world. Some of the most fascinating stories come from people who accidentally found these valuable coins in the most unexpected places. One man in Colorado, sorting through his old change from decades ago, spotted a 1971 D quarter that looked a bit different. When he held it to the light, he noticed a doubling in the lettering, what experts call a double die error. This type of mistake happens when the coin die shifts between strikes, creating a doubled effect on the words or numbers. These rare errors can be hard to spot, but to a trained eye, they stand out like a beacon. Another collector found a 1971 D quarter with an off-center strike, where the image and text were pushed slightly to one side. The date was still fully visible, but part of the coin was left blank. These kinds of minting errors are rare and often increase a coin's value dramatically, especially if they are in good condition. Even more unusual are broad-struck coins, those that escape the collar that holds the coin in place during striking. These coins appear wider and flatter, and when they come from the 1971D series, they can be worth a small fortune. The condition of a coin is also very important. Most quarters have been passed around so much that they're scratched, worn, or even damaged. But some rare examples have survived untouched. These are known as mint state coins, and they are graded on a scale from 1 to 70. A coin graded MS 65 or higher looks as perfect as the day it left the mint. Collectors are always searching for these flawless examples, and the better the grade, the higher the value. There are also quarters from 1971D that show unusual toning, natural colors that develop over time as the metal reacts with air, humidity, and even the oils from human skin. A coin that has beautifully toned hues of gold, blue, or violet can catch a collector's eye and spark fierce bidding at auctions. The rare combination of toning, errors, and high grade can turn a common-looking coin into something truly exceptional. While most people spend quarters without a second thought, those with a love for coins know that every coin tells a story. The 1971D Washington quarter isn't just a piece of metal. It's a window into American history, a product of a unique time, and in rare cases, a valuable artifact hiding in plain sight. Across the country, collectors dig through rolls of coins, old piggy banks, and dusty jars hoping to uncover one of these special quarters. It's a hunt that blends history, curiosity, and the thrill of discovery. The idea that something so small and simple could hold such great value is what makes coin collecting one of the most fascinating hobbies in the world. And what makes the 1971D quarter even more interesting is that many of these valuable coins were never supposed to exist. Whether it's a mistake at the mint or a coin that was preserved perfectly by accident, these quarters have stories that stretch beyond their silver edges. Every collector dreams of finding one, a piece of American legacy, frozen in time and waiting to be uncovered. Imagine sitting down with a pile of coins and spotting something different. You hold it up to the light, feel its weight, inspect its details, and realize you're holding something extraordinary. A coin that millions overlooked, but you discovered. A coin that could change everything. One such 1971D Washington quarter, featuring a rare mint error and preserved in mint state condition, was recently authenticated and auctioned by a top coin grading company. After intense interest from collectors and investors, it finally sold for an astonishing $115,000. So the next time you get change from a store, or you stumble across an old coin jar tucked away in a drawer, take a moment to look. Because you might be holding something more than just 25 cents. You might be holding a treasure. And for more stories about incredible coins, unbelievable finds, and the secrets hidden in everyday change, make sure to follow and subscribe to the channel Valuable Coins All World, where every coin tells a story, and some stories are worth a fortune. Top 4. Sometimes, the most surprising stories begin with something small. A coin. A simple piece of metal that fits in the palm of your hand. Something you might find in your pocket, pass across a store counter, or drop into a jar without a second thought. But what if that coin wasn't just worth 25 cents? What if that little coin carried a hidden value, a forgotten history, a mistake made long ago at the U.S. Mint? That's exactly the case with the 1979 Washington quarter dollar from the United States of America, a coin that might look ordinary, but in rare cases, it's anything but. Back in 1979, the United States was going through major changes. Technology was growing, the economy was shifting, and coin production was still recovering from the great changes of the 1960s, when silver was removed from circulating coins. The Washington quarter had already been in production for decades, having first appeared in 1932 to honor the 200th birthday of the nation's first president, George Washington. The design on the obverse had become iconic. Washington's profile, facing left, calm and strong, had come to symbolize trust, strength, and tradition in American coinage. Above Washington's head are the bold letters spelling liberty. To the left of his profile, the words "I in God we trust" stand proudly. Beneath his neck, the year is clearly stamped, 1979. And on many of these coins, you'll find a small mint mark, like a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco, just to the right of the ribbon on Washington's ponytail. but many were also struck in Philadelphia, and those versions carry no mint mark at all. The 1979 quarter has a familiar silver-gray appearance thanks to its copper-nickel-clad composition. Unlike older quarters that were once made of 90% silver, this one was created with layers of 75% copper and 25% nickel on the outside, and a core made entirely of copper. This change gave the coin more durability and allowed for mass production at lower cost. The total weight of the coin is 5.67 grams, its diameter is 24.26 millimeters, and its thickness is 1.75 millimeters. Around the edge, it has 119 tiny ridges called reeding, an old tradition to prevent people from shaving valuable metal off the edges of coins. On the reverse side of the coin, a powerful American eagle spreads its wings wide. The eagle stands on a bundle of arrows, ready to protect, while a pair of olive branches lies beneath, symbolizing peace. The words United States of America curve above the eagle's head, while below, the denomination reads quarter dollar. In between the wings, you'll find the phrase e pluribus unum, which means out of many, one. Now here's where the story gets really interesting. Even though millions of 1979 Washington quarters were minted and circulated, a few rare pieces have become prized by collectors for their unique features and minting errors. One of the most sought-after types is the double die error. That happens when the coin die strikes the metal twice, slightly misaligned. It creates a shadow-like doubling effect on the letters, numbers, or images. Some 1979 quarters show this error on the word liberty or the date, making them stand out as rare and valuable to experts. Then there's the off-center strike, where the coin wasn't properly aligned during minting. The result? A coin with part of its design pushed off to the side, sometimes even leaving a blank crescent of metal. The more off-center the strike, the more unusual and collectible the coin becomes, especially if the date is still visible. Another rare type is the broad strike error, which happens when the coin isn't properly held in place during the strike. These coins appear slightly larger and have a smooth edge instead of the usual reeded border. When a 1979 quarter shows this kind of error and is in good condition, it can attract strong interest from collectors. Even more fascinating are transitional errors. These are coins that were struck on planchets meant for a different year or denomination. Though rare for the 1979 quarter, such a mistake would make a coin extraordinarily valuable, especially if it includes a metal composition that doesn't match the year. Like being struck on a leftover silver planchet or even on a blank intended for a different coin entirely. Condition plays a major role in a coin's value. While most quarters from 1979 have been through decades of circulation, passed through hands, dropped, scratched, and worn, some have survived in pristine condition. These are known as mint state coins, or MS coins graded MS 65, MS 66, or even higher have sharp details, bright luster, and no signs of wear. These high-grade coins are rare and can fetch high prices, especially when combined with other errors or unique features. Some of the most amazing finds have come from the most unexpected places. One coin collector in Texas found a 1979 quarter in a sealed coin roll that looked absolutely perfect, no scratches, full luster, and razor-sharp edges. Upon grading, it was given an MS 67 rating and sold to a private buyer for a large sum. Another man discovered a double die error on a 1979 quarter while going through a jar of change he had saved since the 1980s. That coin, which he had almost spent on a snack, ended up being worth thousands. The beauty of coin collecting is that anyone can find a treasure. You don't need to be a professional or have expensive tools. Sometimes, all it takes is curiosity and a sharp eye. Coins like the 1979 Washington quarter remind us that the smallest objects can carry great stories. They hold history, craftsmanship, mistakes, and surprises all pressed into metal. There are even coins from 1979 with special toning, where the metal surface has changed color over time due to exposure to air or natural elements. These coins can develop shades of blue, gold, purple, and green, making them look like works of art. When this toning is beautiful and evenly spread, it can actually increase the value of the coin. Collectors always search for combinations, like a double die error on a mint condition coin, or an off-center strike on a quarter with beautiful natural toning. These rare combinations create coins that are truly one-of-a-kind, and they become centerpieces of coin collections around the world. People often overlook the coins they see every day. But if there's one lesson from the story of the 1979 Washington quarter, it's this: not everything is what it seems. Sometimes, the most ordinary coin in your pocket could hold extraordinary value. You just have to look a little closer. And now, for the moment everyone waits for, the price. One particular 1979 Washington quarter, struck in Denver with the D mint mark, featured a rare mint error and was graded MS-67 by a top grading company. This rare coin was sold at auction after an intense bidding war among passionate collectors. The final price reached an incredible $85,000. So the next time you get change, don't just toss it into a jar. Look at the date. Check the edges. Hold it up to the light. You never know, your next treasure might already be in your hands. And for more incredible coin stories, hidden treasures, and valuable discoveries, make sure to subscribe to the channel Valuable Coins All World, where every coin tells a story, and some stories are worth a fortune. Top 5. In the quiet moments of everyday life, we often overlook the small things, the coins in our pockets, the change we drop in jars, the quarters we use for parking meters or vending machines. But sometimes, those very coins hold secrets, stories, and even surprises worth more than anyone could imagine. One such coin is the 1990 Washington quarter dollar from the United States of America, struck with a P mint mark. At first glance, it looks like any other coin. But for collectors who pay attention to the details, this quarter is full of mystery, rarity, and value that could change the way you see your spare change forever. The year was 1990. America was heading into a new decade. The Cold War was ending, technology was rapidly advancing, and the United States Mint continued its production of coins that would be used across the nation. Among them was the Washington quarter, a coin already rich with history. First minted in 1932, it was created to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington. Decades later, his image still stood strong on the front, or obverse, of the coin, facing left, eyes forward, with a calm and powerful expression. Just above Washington's head is the word liberty, boldly struck as a reminder of the country's foundation. To the left, in smaller font, are the words, "I in God we trust." Beneath the neckline of Washington's bust is the date, 1990. And tucked beside his ponytail, you'll find a small but important detail, the letter P, which tells us this particular coin was minted at the Philadelphia Mint. That tiny letter connects this coin to a specific place and time, and it's a detail collectors always look for. The 1990 P quarter has a familiar silver-gray shine, but don't let the color fool you. Unlike the earlier quarters made from 90% silver, this one is made from a copper-nickel-clad composition. It has an inner core of pure copper, surrounded by outer layers made from a blend of 75% copper and 25% nickel. The result is a tough, durable coin with a subtle metallic sheen. It weighs exactly 5.67 grams, has a diameter of 24.26 millimeters, and a thickness of 1.75 millimeters. Its edge is reeded, with 119 tiny grooves running around its border, giving it that classic quarter feel. Flip the coin to its reverse side, and you'll see a proud American bald eagle, wings spread wide. The eagle rests on a bundle of arrows, representing strength and the nation's readiness to defend itself. Just below, a pair of olive branches symbolize the desire for peace. Above the eagle's head are the words United States of America, and between the wings is the Latin phrase E pluribus unum, out of many, one. Below the eagle, the coin declares its denomination in bold letters, quarter dollar. Now, while millions of these coins were minted and circulated across the country, only a very small number became truly special. Some of these 1990 P quarters were struck with unusual errors, mistakes that occurred during the minting process that weren't caught before the coins were released. These rare errors have turned ordinary quarters into valuable collector's items. One of the most fascinating types of minting error is the double die. It happens when the die that stamps the design onto the coin shifts slightly between strikes, creating a shadow-like doubling effect on the letters, numbers, or images. A 1990 P quarter with visible doubling on the word liberty or the date is a collector's dream and worth far more than face value. Then there's the off-center strike. Sometimes, a coin isn't properly aligned during minting, and part of the design ends up pushed to one side. These off-center errors can range from slight misalignments to dramatic shifts, where part of the coin's surface is left blank. The more off-center the coin, and the more details still visible, the more valuable it becomes. Another rare error is the broad strike, which happens when the coin is struck outside the collar that usually holds it in place. Broad-struck coins have a wider diameter and lack the reeded edge. When a 1990p quarter has this kind of error and is still in good condition, it becomes a piece worth adding to any collection. But errors aren't the only things that make the 1990p quarter special. Condition plays a huge role in value. Most coins from 1990 have seen years of circulation. They've been passed from person to person, dropped, scraped, and worn down. But some coins have survived untouched, preserved in near-perfect condition. These are known as mint-state coins and are graded on a scale from 1 to 70. A 1990p quarter graded MS 65 or higher has brilliant luster, sharp detail, and no visible wear. Some of these coins even develop natural toning over time, giving them unique colors like gold, blue, or purple. Toning occurs when the metal reacts with air or moisture, and while not all tone coins are valuable, the ones with even, attractive coloring often are. A well-toned, high-grade 1990p quarter with a rare error is a true prize in the world of coin collecting. Stories from coin collectors across the country show just how special these coins can be. One woman in Pennsylvania discovered a 1990p quarter in an old coffee can that had been in her family for decades. It had never been circulated and showed no signs of wear. She sent it to a professional coin grading service, and it received an MS 67 grade. That one coin, once forgotten in a jar, turned out to be worth thousands. Another collector in Florida found a double-die 1990p quarter while searching through a roll of coins from the bank. The doubling was slight, but clearly visible on the word Liberty. After confirming the error and having it authenticated, the coin's value skyrocketed, proving that these treasures can truly be hiding in plain sight. And then there are the quarters that were simply struck with extra pressure, leaving a deeper impression and more detailed features. These coins, known as strong strikes, have extra sharp details in Washington's hair, the eagle's feathers, and the lettering. Even without an error, a strong strike in mint-state condition is worth looking for. Collectors and treasure hunters alike continue to search through coin rolls, bank bags, and personal change jars in the hope of finding one of these rare 1990p quarters. It's the thrill of the hunt, the excitement of discovery, and the chance to own a piece of American minting history that keeps them going. Some of these coins have ended up in major auctions, where bidding wars between collectors drive prices to levels no one would expect for something that once cost just 25 cents. These coins may look like ordinary change, but they carry stories of history, mistakes, survival, and rarity. And now, the moment that reveals just how valuable one of these coins can truly be. A rare 1990 Washington quarter with the Philadelphia Mint mark, featuring a broad strike error and preserved in pristine mint state condition, was recently sold at a high-profile coin auction. The final hammer price stunned everyone. The coin was purchased for an incredible $60,000. The next time you hold a quarter in your hand, take a moment. Look at the date. Look for that little mint mark. Pay attention to the edges and the details. Because what seems like just another coin could be something much more. A rare treasure. A forgotten story. And if you want to hear more stories just like this, make sure you follow and subscribe to the channel Valuable Coins All World, where every coin has a past, every coin has a secret, and some coins are worth a fortune.